Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Fritz,
I'm Damon Lewis.
and you're listening or watching the Surf the Astral podcast, a spiritual show about meditation, lucid dreaming, and astral projection. Thanks for tuning in with us again. And we have another special guest, another interview. So his name is Kevin Blackwell. Um, he's a man on a mission to deliver uplifting and transformative spiritual messages to the world. An awakened African American spiritual leader schooled in the traditions of past spiritual masters, Blackwell is focused on helping humanity fulfill its promise by teaching spiritual principles and facilitating societal changes that will enable us to take a quantum leap forward in consciousness in the coming generations. With his combination of spiritual insight, media savvy, intelligence, and business experience, Blackwell is poised to become an important spiritual teacher and leader of the new millennium. He intends to communicate positive ideas to the world through books, workshops, seminars, and public appearances, television, radio programming, films, music, and internet, and through one of his counseling work with clients, his one-on-one counseling work with clients from all walks of life. Blackwell is a New Age practitioner with over 30 years of experience in a variety of areas. He has worked as an intuitive and spiritual counselor who utilizes a variety of traditional and non-traditional therapeutic techniques in conjunction with tested coaching methods to help people connect their deeper selves and live more fulfilling lives. Wow. Okay. So welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, Kevin, I can't tell you how excited I am. I watched the one interview that you did uh, with the other Kevin. I can't remember his
Uh-huh.
last name at this point, but we're gonna link that. We'll link that interview. And I saw that you did an on your website. You did a nice full biography of yourself too, which we'll also link for people. And I was just very intrigued. And I'd like to kind of jump right into it, just to get dive right deep into it. With your story, when you were talking about wanting to originally move to Las Vegas to set up, basically set up your, where you can teach people, and how things kind of started going wrong for you. How do you feel now when you're come almost full circle and you're back living in Las Vegas? Do you feel that you're sort of in where you need to be, and how are you feeling now after your near death experience? Now that you've come back to Las Vegas, how, like, set us in present day. Where's Kevin at, present day?
Um, when I moved to Las Vegas, on the surface, it was I had gotten tired of driving from city to city. And so I thought I would come to a place like Las Vegas where I could start to invite my followers to come and see me instead of me driving all over the place. But as soon as I got to Las Vegas, I started getting seriously ill. Now, I knew deep inside that I had come to Las Vegas to die. Um, I even told a few of my followers that, but I didn't think that it would be literal. I thought that it would be more symbolic and that my life would dramatically change. But instead, I got sicker and sicker and sicker until I died and came back to life. And now I'm kind of stuck here because I'm waiting for a kidney transplant. And so I'm on the list in Nevada. And so I need to stay here until that happens within the next couple of years, hopefully. Um, so while I wait for a new kidney that would prolong my life for a while, I am finishing writing my book and stuff like that. So kind of preparing to relaunch myself.
That's very cool. Do you know a sense of what your book is going to be about? Do you have, a draft written, or do you have something you can share about
I
your
have
book?
about 6 chapters out of a 12 or 11 chapter book. And I view this as the first book in a series of books. And so in this first book, I try to explain the guiding principles behind all that I've learned. And I talk about cosmology, the beginning of the universe, my understanding of God, what it is and what it isn't. And I talk about this time that we're living in, which is a time of dramatic change and hopefully of dramatic evolution in human consciousness. And so it is a very deep spiritual book about the key understandings that I've been blessed with learning about over the past 30 years.
Interesting, yeah.
40 years.
Mm-hmm. So I remember, I think it was that interview I watched as well. I think you mentioned maybe around 15 or 16, there was an experience where you had some beings, some masters, kind of enter the space and kind of communicate with you. So are those the same masters that or saints that you still work with or communicate with now?
For the most part, during those first 4 months, so many different masters introduced themselves to me from all over the place, from the history of mankind to beings from other dimensions and other galaxies. And so I was introduced to a pretty broad palette of highly evolved beings. And so, yes, at any given time, any one of them could come and communicate with me still.
And throughout your interactions, communications with these type of beings, especially some of those really enlightened ones or maybe ascended masters, do they ever communicate information about what it means to ascend, or what does it take for a soul to reach that level where they can kind of maybe not have to reincarnate, that they can fully ascend? Has that ever been a dialogue that came up at all, or?
Yeah, there has been a lot of information about how we can evolve and how I can help others to evolve. And a lot of that has to do with teaching people how to meditate and how to use their breath to take them anywhere that they want to go in terms of thought and dimensions and stuff like that. The breath for me is like a magic carpet that can take you to wherever you want to go in inner space or outer space. And so there's been a lot of discussion of that, but I would say that their primary goal in coming to speak to me has been to remind me of who I am and who I have been. And so they tried to get me to remember myself.
Very cool. I like that.
So Kevin, is that something you can sort of walk us through a little bit? Is like maybe a breath exercise, or maybe go into more explaining the literal details of what you've learned about how to use your breath, and maybe share something like an exercise with our audience to give them a little something, even if it's just a small piece, like for a beginning exercise.
Sure. Whenever I do a one-on-one session or a group session, it always leads to meditation and helping others to go inside and navigate their inner space. And it starts, it's not a mystical technique or anything like that. It's just getting people to close their eyes and simply enjoy the process of breathing. Breathing is one of the most relaxing and pleasurable things that we do. And it's no coincidence that it's also the first thing that we do when we're born into this world. Breath is our ticket to understanding God and understanding who we are. And it's something that we do constantly every day. And so it is like a gift from the infinite that if we learn how to use it, we can truly understand who we are and start to realize our potential. And so my clients get tired of me telling them to relax and breathe, but that is how I start every meditation, just urging people to fall in love with their breath, enjoy the process and the pleasure of breathing. And if you start to breathe with that attitude and with that focus, you will start to get in touch with higher aspects of your being. They simply rise to the surface of your consciousness as you start to breathe in a focused fashion. And so I get people to close their eyes, relax and breathe, and simply enjoy their breath. And then after a couple of minutes of allowing them to have that experience, I just start to point out different things, like breathing, connects us to the natural rhythm of our soul. And it's important that you don't try to manipulate or control your breath. We each breathe in a unique fashion. And if we allow ourselves to simply breathe in our own unique way, that connects us to the natural rhythm of our soul. Then I point out the fact that you are not just breathing in air, you are breathing in cosmic energy. And so be sure to keep all of your sensing mechanisms open. Pay attention to any sensations that you may have, any colors that you may see. Just keep all of your sensing mechanisms open as you continue to relax and breathe. And then if we're from here, we can go in any direction that we want to go in. At this point, I can ask the client or the audience to pay attention to any areas of tension in their body. And then to focus their breath on those areas and breathe into those areas. And invariably, as they do that, they start to have visions or memories that relate in some way to that area of tension in the body. And as they continue to breathe into that area of the body, that tension starts to dissipate and those memories start to fade. So that's one way that you can use your breath, is to reduce tension in your body and relieve areas of pent-up energy and emotion. But since most people that contact me are interested in my ability to channel. Usually after 5 or 10 minutes of focused meditation, I ask them to turn their attention to their heart and their heart chakra area. And I ask them to breathe in and out of their heart. And the heart is the seat of the soul within the body. And so as you focus your attention and your breath on your heart, you kind of activate that center and literally turn on a light within the center of your heart. And as you focus your breath on the heart, your higher self, your true nature, your soul starts to rise to the surface of your consciousness. And you start to have an expanded sense of self. And as you start to shine with the light of your unique essence, we call in all of the guides, the masters, past lives, all the different fragments of your soul that long to be remembered by you. And all the higher beings that are interested in you and helping you to shine with your true essence in this world. And so that is a couple of places that we can use the breath to go to. And as I said, the breath is truly like a magic carpet that can take you to whatever you want to know, whatever you need to explore, whatever time in the past or the future. And so with practice, it becomes easy, and you get to the point in which your breath can quickly take you to anywhere in the universe, anywhere in time and space. Did that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
Sharing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think breath is important. That just doing that kind of helped calm me even more. I just recently got into breath work a little bit, and I didn't realize how much I resisted it. And actually, when I've worked through the resistance, I've grown to really enjoy just doing breath work and noticing how quick the effect of it has on um, just calming and just getting relaxed. And yeah, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm. It's also the key to being able to travel out of body to some degree. It can facilitate astral projection for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Because
go, Damon.
because breathing into the different areas of tension, the the parts, your energetic body, and how it meets up with the physical body. How I've heard it described in a really good form. Nancy Trivolato talks about it. It's like glued together. The way I think about it is like electromagnetism. But if you're working through those places of tension physically in your body, they're affecting the energetic places of tension, those energetic blockages, and they release from each
Right.
other.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Um, so Kevin, I've heard some people say, or just that maybe part of what we're here to do is to wake up to really what um, source is, or God is, whatever you want to call that, or name or term that is. um, and you said you're working on this book, and you're um, in your own kind of journey, kind of grown to learn more about what that means, perhaps for you. And would you want to share anything about that, or just what that journey is like, and kind of understanding, or what that's about?
Um, People like to contemplate why they are here. Why do we exist, and what are we supposed to do with this life? I think that everyone has a unique answer to that question. Um, for me, my understanding is that God exploded into form out of its longing to experience itself. So to me, the universes were created, and all of us were created as a result of the longing of our Creator to experience itself. So, because that is my understanding, longing becomes a very important thing to understand and to embrace. And I believe that what each of us long for is is ultimately the reason why we were created. So if you want to understand why you are here, the best way to understand that is to ask yourself, what is it that you long for deep inside? And I think that your answer to that question will tell you the reason why you were created. So for me, it is all about longing and understanding what you long for deep inside and allowing your life to be directed and dedicated to expressing what it is that you long for deep inside. So that is how I understand why we are here. And I think it's important that that gets talked about in a very direct fashion. There has been a lot of emphasis on love. And love is like gravity. It is a force that helps us to acknowledge that we all are one, that there is no separation between us, that we all are one. But until very recently, we've lived in a dual universe. And so, what is the opposite of love? If love is like gravity, a force that brings us together, then what is the opposite of that? And to me, longing is the opposite of that. Longing is about an individual soul saying, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to create. This is a reflection of my unique soul. It's kind of like a child growing into adulthood and wanting to leave the family and go out and make his way into the world. And so I believe that embracing what it is that you long for is just as important as recognizing our oneness with all beings. And so I encourage people as much as possible to take the time to get in touch with what they long for, with what they long to be and create in this world. And ideally, as we leave the age of duality, we'll learn how to do both at the same time, how to fulfill and express the unique longing that lies at the core of each and every one of us, while at the same time remembering that we all are one part of one God. And so I think that both things have to be fully expressed at the same time. And if we succeed in doing that, we'll live in a very happy society.
I agree with that.
For me, the work that Andrew and I are doing, and that a lot of other people are doing as well, with lucid dreaming, astral projection, or dream yoga, very old practice, sort of becomes part of that narrative that you're talking about, where being able to be an individual inside a dream, like lucid in a dream, but being aware of the fact that you are the dream. Everything in the dream is you. The other characters, the chair, the sky, it's all you.
Right, right.
And with dream yoga, that becomes a larger narrative for life, that when we wake up and when we're in the objective reality that we're all sharing together, if we can become more lucid and enlighten ourselves and wake up, we realize it's the same thing. I am you, you are me, I'm the sky, not as just as an individual, because I am experiencing this as an individual, but that God, just like you were describing, the being that we know of God is an essence in all of us and everything, which is like the dream.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Kevin, so you're the first guest here we've had that has experience with channeling and mediumship. So maybe, I mean, just for us and even our viewers, audience, could you talk about what is channeling, or what is mediumship, and what's that all about?
It is being open to receiving and processing energy other than your own energy. So so if you were a client, we would be having a conversation, but at the same time that I am talking to you, I am also listening to your energy, listening to other aspects of you that might be saying the exact opposite of what you're saying. And it's the ability to hear, or I should say, to feel those energies and then turn those energies into understandable communication. And for me, it's always been easy for me to feel those different energies. You can say that when I was 16 years old, and on that first night, I heard the voices of Mary and Jesus. I was kind of imprinted with the fact that there is energy all around us, and that energy wants to communicate with us. And so for me, I'm always surrounded by energies from innumerable sources. And the challenge has been learning how to communicate or to turn that energy into meaningful communication. And so channeling for me is a two-step process of hearing or feeling the energies around me, and then translating those energies into meaningful communication. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions I would have is, when you're channeling different beings or ascended masters, are there any sort of, say, boundaries or parameters? Is it just, say, ascended masters that have higher energy that are able to, say, come through and be able to communicate, or people that have passed on that maybe are not ascended masters? Are there any sort of limitations to who you're able to communicate with?
I would say that there are no limitations, but there certainly are energies that I have more of an affinity towards. And so I have an affinity toward channeling and communicating with highly evolved beings. I don't do much mediumship, but I have helped clients communicate with deceased loved ones. And the emphasis is quite different between communicating with a deceased loved one and communicating with a more highly evolved being. So yeah, I definitely would call myself more of a channel than a medium. But both are possible, and the process is the same for both.
Well, Kevin, we'd like to thank you for your time here, just kind of speaking with us, and then doing the some of those meditations and the channeling. We really appreciate your time, and I had fun again, especially with that that one experience with Krishna. That was pretty cool for me. So.
Cool, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, we appreciate you being here. So, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you want to go check out his website, kgblackwell.com, go explore that, get in touch with him. But again, we'll see you next time.